thanks again for answering the questions. The first thing I would like to ask, you had a seminar in the last days about your new product. What can you tell the people who missed the seminar, like me, or the people who couldn't make it to Gen Con? What's new with Fantasycraft, Spycraft, and so on?
So what's new with Fantasycraft and Spycraft and everything else? Well, the rest of our year, we released Time of High Adventure at this show. That is our new book of 3 adventures and kind of all the tools you need to run them. That'll be available in September.
Yes.
Yes, it'll be out in September. In October, we'll be releasing the Adventurer's Companion, which is 3 settings. We have Sun Chaser, which is kind of Lord of the Rings on the Mississippi River. We have Epic, which is sort of a Conan, Frank Frazetta-esque Native Americans versus demons in a frozen world. And then we have Cloak and Dagger, which is Greco-Roman fantasy espionage.
Great.
That book will also have a significant rules expansion.
Yes.
It's got a ton of new species feeds. There's a huge expansion on every front.
Kind of every feed. There's well over a dozen new classes, master classes, finally, for Fantasycraft. There will be 4, and a number of new things that some people haven't even seen before.
Awesome. And can you tell us something about Spycraft, the coming edition?
Absolutely. The other thing about this year is that we're releasing Spellbound in November.
Yes, we forgot about Spellbound, yes.
Just mention that quickly. The Spycraft 3rd edition is really interesting. It's our chance to get back down to grassroots with espionage. So we're focusing the game pretty narrowly. So there won't actually even be all that much overlap with 10,000 Bullets, except for the fact that they'll both be standalone Mastercraft products. We're going back all the way down to the roots with everything, classes, with feeds. Our class selection is really interesting. We previewed most of the classes, not all of them, but most of them here at the show.
Yeah, I was reading some playtest comments this morning on some of the new classes, and people were very excited about how they came out. So yeah, there will be more. We talked a little bit about them in our Gen Con seminar video. We recorded that'll be up in YouTube in the next couple days. So it's just whenever Jim has to get home and then edit it and then put it up online. So there will also be that with more details, but it's really good. And then and 10,000 Bullets will follow.
Within a couple months.
Yeah, within a couple months. It'll follow Spycraft 3rd edition. It'll be focused on street level crime games. The Grand Theft Auto, the RPG. Fortunately, everybody knows what Spycraft is because it's got a fantastic name.
You can also do bullets, or you can do heat with it.
Exactly,
it's got quite a bit of range. But as you notice with those last examples, in both cases, we're really trying to ground these games. Spycraft historically has been a fairly over-the-top property. Right out the box, the assumption is that you have cloaking devices and you've got
transforming cars,
all sorts of crazy stuff. So, and it got even crazier with Spycraft 2.0, which is a fantastic game, but had a very wide berth. And with Spycraft 3rd, we're really trying to get back down to just what espionage is about. So that what this is allowing us to do is really say, what are the principal building blocks of this genre, and how do we make those? How do we give people the most control over those that we possibly can? So a good example is we're going to have a scale for gadgets. You could actually play the game with 0 super science at all. Or you could go all the way up to something crazy like orbital lasers. There'll also be an agency builder. We field tested that concept a little bit on the forums before, but we asked about it here at our seminar, and people went wild. It was literally unanimous success, unanimous desire for that particular tool set. This reinforces my belief that people really want to be able to control their own world settings. So I think what we're going to wind up seeing here is an opportunity for not only the GMs but the players to say, I would like to play not only these types of characters, but I'd like to work for this type of agency that has these types of goals and has these resources, works in this kind of environment, et cetera, et cetera. So your entire game, just out of the box, your Spycraft game will feel different than the next one along the line.
Very interesting. You have now 2 Mastercraft systems, right? Fantasycraft and Spycraft.
Yes, and 10,000 bullets soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And do you have any plans to expand to the science fiction genre, perhaps, or something totally different?
We have plans for other genres. The Mastercraft system will not end with Spycraft.
Okay.
But we can't really talk about much more because anything else that's coming would not happen in 2011.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about Gen Con a bit. You have been to Gen Con several times before?
Yes, this is my 8th Gen Con.
Your eighth?
I've always worked at the show, either as a freelancer or as a company owner.
This is my 12th.
And how has Gen Con been so far?
I think this year,
over the years and this year?
you know, it's interesting because I've been here long enough now to see how things have changed, and I think this year has been really good. There's a lot of excitement in the crowd. I think people are looking at a lot of new things. I've noticed that there's a lot of younger people now. A lot of people from the local community are coming as well. People who are close by. So that's been good. I think it's less exclusive. I think it's doing a lot of new cool things, and I think even if there's been a little bit of contraction in the show, I think that it's been really, really good.
Sometimes contraction is a good thing. A competition is great for the market and everybody wins, but at the end of the day, it's sometimes nice to have everything sort of come back down to just what is really necessary to make the industry work. And we're seeing that now. We're seeing a lot of the companies that might have had a little bit of trouble. They're not here because they, for one reason or another.
Or some are coming back.
Some are coming back. So we're actually seeing sort of a strengthening of the industry overall.
Right.
And the same thing I think with the fan base. A lot of the people who were simultaneously, we're seeing a lot of people that were really into gaming, but maybe not quite as much into the convention scene are not coming to Gen Con this year. And we're seeing a lot, simultaneously we're seeing a lot more new people. So it's sort of this new mix of people, which is great.
Yeah.
A lot more costumes, a lot more, as Alex says, a lot more excitement.
A lot more families too.
Yeah.
That was something that you just never see kids at Gen Con, and now we do. So it's nice to see kind of the next generation of gamers coming, with their parents, and it's been really fantastic.
The change of tenor is fantastic. It's really wonderful.
Will you be back next year?
Absolutely, yeah. Bigger and better than this year.
And what are your plans when you return home after Gen Con?
Sleep.
What is the first thing you do?
So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to drive 12 hours back to my place. We're going to pass out. We're going to put Patrick on a plane, and then I'm going to have to go back to my day job. So,
and I'll be probably asleep for about a day and a half, and then I got to get back following up on all of the awesome things that happened here.
Yeah.
And then getting the next product done.
Yes.
So.
And may I ask you, what was your favorite product this year? Aside from your own, of course.
Outbreak. Outbreak, the zombie survival horror role-playing game. I've been following this for a couple of years now, and they finally released here at the show. It's a realistic take on zombie invasions anywhere in the world, and they have a little online aptitude test you can take that spits out stats for you, which is fantastic.
Right.
And the guys in charge of it, they really understand the genre, and like us, they're really embracing what makes it work.
Right.
So
yeah, so they're new and they just released at the show, and I think they got a lot of good things coming for them. I really like two products that I hadn't seen or hadn't been familiar with. One is Neon Con. This is a new convention that's coming up in Las Vegas. I think they're doing everything right. They've been here doing live streams of Gen Con, so they're really great, and we're looking forward. We're going to actually be attending later
we'll
this year.
have a booth at Neon Con. We'll be
Beginning of November.
Spellbound there a few weeks before it ships.
Yeah, so they're a really cool con. So that's kind of a product. And then the other one I really liked was Telestrations, which Telestrations is basically telephone combined with Pictionary. It's selling for $20 at the show. You draw something, and then the next person writes and guesses what it is, and then the next person draws it, and the next person writes and guesses what it is. It's absolutely hysterical. I haven't laughed that hard playing a game in years, and for me, that's what games are all about: is having fun with friends in a big group, and really kind of getting back to basics. So I think it's a genius game.
Yeah, you don't even to play this game because they're all literally on the playbook. So every page tells you what to do.
Right,
It's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah, you can play with anybody, and it's a good way to make friends with people really fast.
Thanks a lot for the interview, and I hope I see you next year at
right.
Gen Con 2011.
Great.